What it do, what it is. It's Birds of a Feather back up in this bitch. It's Patrick Mahomes, number 2 QB since 2000. We don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Let's go.
Oh, my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and everywhere you download your podcast. So if you're listening to us live right now or on your commute, we greatly appreciate the support. Your boys, all 4 of us back again. Chuck, OGP, Jake, PY. What's good, fellas? How you doing?
Good.
Colin.
It's June, guys. It's
Woo.
June. Sheesh, by May. May went by really quick. We're in the summer now.
May could not have
officially
ended
summer,
sooner.
but yeah, it's June. So we got our summer series of fun exercises of events here on Birds of a Feather, just as we do every year. And for the next 2 months, we've got a great lineup of segments and shows for you so we can keep the football talk going. Tonight, we are going to talk about the top QBs since 2000. OGP and I, we did this topic with Chrome years ago. I think it was during the pandemic, and it was fun. So we figured, hey, let's revisit. We got 2 new show co-hosts on with us now. Let's revisit this. Let's do this again. How has our rankings changed, and what will we do differently, or what hasn't changed? So it'll be interesting to see where we go. I think it's going to be really fun. And then obviously in the second half of the show, we will go no huddle and talk about whatever the heck we want. Maybe talk about this blowout of an NBA Finals game. Maybe not talk about it. Maybe talk about DeAndre Hopkins, stuff like that. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we can. The first half of the show, though, our segment is brought to you by Alonzi Travel. They're specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts create a custom vacation for you. Hit up me or Andy Ritz for your vacation. All right, guys. So our poll question, we're going to answer it organically as we do this exercise. But our poll question for the fine viewers out there, Patrick Mahomes, the defending Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes, the 2-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes, the how many MVPs now? 2 MVPs? 1?
Yeah, 2.
2 MVPs, Patrick Mahomes. Is he already the second best quarterback since 2000? Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Fellas who are listening in, everyone listening to the chat, definitely give your answer. Let us know. But we will end up answering that organically, like I said, as we go through our rankings. Gentlemen, anything before we get into this?
Nope.
Nope. Good. All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's bring up the spreadsheet. All right. So I made some adjustments. As you can see now, if you want, we have tiers. If you did tiers, if you split them into tiers, then I did that for you. If not, you don't have to use the tier system. You let me know. Pete, did you split yours up into tiers? What?
Nah. Just straight list.
Jake, did you?
I did not.
And then PY.
Just list.
Okay, so you just did the list.
Yeah, because you can make a decision, man.
What's up?
Ain't none of this tier shit. Tiers.
Hey, man, I'm a tier. You know me. Tiers are more accurate, so I do tiers. So
Tiers were made to make people who are outside the correct tier feel better.
It's a more accurate way of doing stuff.
PY said they like participation trophies, but
It is a
Sure.
participation trophy.
All right, let's not get into this. Yours are more accurate. It's a more accurate way of doing
Sure thing.
of doing rankings. So I'm going to do it my way. You can do it your way. That's perfectly fine. All right. We're going to do. Do you guys want to do it the way we've been doing our rankings, where we
Yes.
go in ascending order, and as someone mentions a name, we discuss the name? You guys want to do that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Pete, how many did you have?
7.
Jake, how many did you have?
I have 10.
And then PY, how many did you have? 15. Okay, so
Jesus Christmas.
do this. Let's go. Let's PY and Jake name your top 10.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about it. So we'll go 10, but Pete and I did 14 as I said in the chat, but I'll just read off my 7. All right, so I'll do my 2. I did 2 tiers of QBs, 7 QBs total. So I'll leave off the rest of the guys. So P and I will have 7, but you guys, since you did the work, we'll go 10. And we'll kind of talk about the guys that you have extra, and we'll see if we rank them. So Jake, let's start off with you. Who do you have at 10? Now hold on.
10.
Sorry. I had to. So I think we discussed this morning. The basis that we have this on is who we build a franchise around. So it's not like who's the greatest, who has the greatest stats, because obviously if we did it that way, we would have a bunch of quarterbacks who are already retired,
Right.
higher up on the list. It's to give a chance to the current guy. That's who we would build a franchise around. So for all of you, anyone listening, that's what we're going off of.
And
So
is that based off of what they were coming out of college? What are you?
Yeah, because I did mine differently then.
I did. So I assume it's based on what we know about the quarterbacks. Currently.
Okay.
What we know about them currently, who would we build the franchise around?
Okay.
All right. Since 2000. Alrighty.
All right. So
Yep.
Jake, number 10. Who do you have at number 10?
Give me Kurt Warner, number 10.
Kurt Warner. Okay. Anybody have Kurt Warner ranked?
Yes.
Where do you have him ranked?
8.
8.
Okay.
Do you have Kurt Warner ranked?
No.
Okay.
didn't
I do
say-
not
he's
either.
He's not.
That
in the top
hurts.
10.
Yeah, I do not either. Okay.
That's why I love Kurt Warner. Is why I love football.
Fair enough.
Greatest show on turf was the first ever Super Bowl I ever watched.
Cool. To be honest, if I were to rank them, I wouldn't even have them in my top 15.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Kurt Warner was a great quarterback, but I also think he was part of 2 great offenses.
Agreed.
His physical tools were, if you look at like his talent, it was never really up there as being one of the more talented. Like he was a great quarterback, and like he was smart, he was accurate, and like he was phenomenal.
Mhm.
But when you're combining all these quarterbacks since 2000, and I'm looking at the talent of the guys that I have in my top 14, I don't know if I don't think I would choose Kurt over any of them.
Okay.
So, Pete, what do you think? Like, would Kurt Warner fit
I
anywhere?
think he probably would have been in the top. If I did 10, he probably would have been in the bottom half of the 10.
Bottom half of 10. Okay. So Jake and PY, why did you guys have him in your ranking?
Again, I mean, you look at the track record, Hall of Famer, MVP.
Super Bowl.
And you're talking about a guy that's a hard worker. Obviously, we know the whole story, him working in a grocery store and then obviously going from arena football to that. So
Yep.
He has all the mannerisms and everything you want from a franchise quarterback. And obviously, we'll never know if he got an earlier chance in the NFL instead of waiting a couple years. He's definitely a leader and definitely a guy I would personally build my franchise around.
Smart, accurate, leader, great teammate. Like, can endure things that very few people in the NFL can, in my opinion. Because like it's tough from being cut and then going to bag groceries and then a few years later being an MVP and Super Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the fact that, like, imagine going from the greatest show on turf to, like, being a scrub backup on multiple teams and then leading the Cardinals to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Sorry, I was muted. Joe Orkowski, what's going on, man? He gives his list.
That's really scary.
There's Brady, Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, then Phillip Rivers. So that's, I think this looks like the great, like, this looks like a criteria of, like, the greatest.
He don't have Peyton?
So, yeah.
You don't
Yes,
see
Peyton too.
Yeah, do you not see two?
Oh, I read it wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you better be. Okay, so PY, who'd you have at 10?
Russell Wilson.
Ooh,
Anybody have Russell Wilson ranked?
I do not.
This is hard.
Mr. Evans says no.
Whoever says no.
Really?
Okay, all right. PY?
I mean, Super Bowl champion, super consistent, always, at least for the most part in his time in Seattle, had his team in a position to be a championship contender. Obviously, the one MVP vote his whole career didn't help him. But, you know, for what he was and what you had, like, Russ was great. Like, you can move with him. He was a good thrower of the football. Obviously, the big Super Bowl blunder sucks for him, and I think if he wins that second Super Bowl, I'd probably rank him a lot higher because he joins like Brady with the repeat. So Wilson's.
Greg says, agree to the poll. Peyton sucks.
Oh my god.
He is such a Peyton Manning hater. I know he is.
That was ironically my second NFL jersey.
Oh my god! So yeah, that I knew about him.
Yeah.
I don't hate Russell Wilson. He just wouldn't make my top 7.
Yeah, no.
He was in that range of like around like
15 maybe.
He'd be around like
I'm really gonna hate
top 10 to 15ish. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the least Pete list ever, in my opinion.
Which means it's the most Pete list ever.
No, it's not. I'm honest. I honestly think this is my most reasonable list ever.
All right.
We'll see. Yeah, we will. we sure shall see. I will say this: like around this range, once you get past like the top 5, 6 ish, 7 ish, like it does get tough. So like I don't really hate these names so far because you can make an argument for it. Like it's very, very difficult. Especially since you're like, if you're comparing even this era with the early 2000s era, the game was already so different.
Mm-hmm.
It's already so different from it was 20 years ago. So, I totally understand. I don't think it's like either of those names are bad. All right. PY, why don't you give us number 9 then?
Eli.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes. Come on. You can't. You have to have him in your top 10. I'm sorry.
You're coming off of saying this is your best list.
It is my best list.
Manning.
You can't not have Eli in your top 10.
Eli Manning in the top 10 of quarterbacks.
Yes.
2000. Since 2000.
Can you tell the truth? Can you tell the 2000s without Eli Manning? You can't.
Yes.
No, you can't.
I can.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. He has a point. They
if there's no Eli Manning,
undefeated season.
If there's no Eli Manning, the evil empire wins twice. Brady goes perfect.
I don't know if that's enough to get him on the list, but still.
Yeah.
No. Let's see. Here's the thing. Eli Manning has never even sniffed being a top 5 quarterback in a season in the NFL. He's done like anytime during his career, PY, let me talk. Anytime during his career, okay, was he ever even close to being considered a top 5 quarterback in the league? No, he never was. He never ever was. Now, did he have two great Super Bowl runs because the first one was in large part because of the defense. The defense should have won Super Bowl MVP, not him. He threw a Hail Mary pass to David Tyree that was cut off the helmet. So that was luck. And 2011, he did play really, really well. I'll give him that. But I didn't realize that having two great Super Bowl games alone was enough to make you some great players. Like
Enough to make him a first
he's
ballot
only
Hall of
going to
Famer.
be, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, it's only because of his name.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's
getting into the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
It's
he's
not
definitely
even a
getting in.
question.
I don't know about first
if
ballot.
he gets into the Hall of Fame, it's because of his last name and because he has two Super Bowl rings, not because
he has the numbers.
Because he was a top talent. He was never like I don't understand how difficult it is for people to understand. If you watch like during his career, he was never considered one of the better QBs.
He was durable as shit though too. That's
he was durable. He was durable.
I don't know how.
Sure, that was great. He was
yards, touchdowns, wins,
durable.
and Super Bowls.
Well, wonderful. You're durable. You play a long time, and you ride the coattails of your defense to two Super Bowl rings. Awesome, great. I guess you're.
Would you say that? Would you say this though? Would you now? And I'm not defending Eli at all. Would you say that if this was just the top 10 list of big game quarterbacks, would he be on it?
I'd probably put him like top 10, yeah. Because like you said, you can't deny the big games he's had.
Right.
Like the Super Bowls, like I would give him that credit. Like he's more clutch than his brother.
Yes.
He's come up bigger in the bigger moments than his brother has. That's absolutely, I'm not denying that. But having the clutch gene sometimes I feel like gets overrated by so many people, and I think that's the case of Eli Manning. Like he was never an elite quarterback. He never was. He just never was. It's idiotic to me. If you look back on it, it's idiotic to think he's a Hall of Fame talent. But because he's royalty, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame, most likely. So that's fine. But there's a lot of reasons why you can make a case that the Hall of Fame selection committee is flawed. It's flawed in a lot of ways. There are a lot of people that shouldn't be in it that are. A lot of people that are out that should be in. So when is he eligible?
How long has Daniel Jones been in the league?
I don't know.
This is his 5th year, right? So
This is
next
going to be
year,
his 5th year. Yeah, so next year.
I think next year.
Next year. Okay. Got it. All right, Jake. Who's your number 9?
Even when I'm not trying to, I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's the point.
Everyone needs a heel.
Joe Horkowski says, if any of y'all got Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, or Cam Newton in your top 7,
I'm gonna lose it.
So
Playoff Joe. I don't know.
I actually wouldn't kill anyone if they put Flacco in the top 10. I honestly wouldn't.
I'm not putting it in the top
because he was like, obviously he won the one Super Bowl. Like he was good. Like his first 5 or 6 years in the league, like he was really good.
Oh, he was good, but there are so many really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
In the past since 2000,
the past 23
I am not
years,
putting Flacco above 15 guys that I have.
No, I can see it.
Well, obviously you can see it. You. Jake, who you got at 9?
Michael Vick.
Okay.
Michael Vick.
Really? Okay.
Now, again, I get like the off the field stuff and all that, and obviously we know he turned more into a leader as he got older. But just like his intangibles for what he had coming out of the league or coming out of college, and just so talented. And I don't care what anyone says. He throws the prettiest deep ball I've ever seen. He makes it look effortless.
It just flicks off the wrist.
It literally looks like a 5-yard pass that we would throw to each other in the backyard, and it goes for 60 yards through the air.
I don't know about that. Throwing a 5-yard pass, I look like I'm struggling.
Mike Vick is the kid in backyard football where you're just you're tossing it really simple, and it's it goes 60 yards.
Right, and it's just his talent alone in and of itself, and just. Again, I get it because obviously the dog stuff and him going to jail for a little while. But I think, and we talked about this with the Jalen Carter pick, sometimes in certain situations, talent kind of outweighs kind of what happens off the field. And I think, again, if he were to be given a second chance, I think it would work out much better for him. But just the talent in and of itself was a big factor for me.
Who do you think will ultimately go down as a better player? Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson?
Well, hold on. Before you get to that, are you going to ask anybody else if they got Mike Vick rated?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That's my bad. Yeah, Pete, do you have Mike Vick rated?
Listen.
Thanks.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Let's go.
He probably has him in the top 5.
Fucking 4.
Go.
Listen, I'm sorry, Tom. I'm about to go on. There's a whole fucking trend because of him.
Mm-hmm.
You said build a team around him. Listen, this team, there's quarterbacks that have one more to be more. When you had him in the league, and I'm telling you right now, Patrick Mahomes isn't as high 4. I'm telling you right now.
No.
Vic is hot because when you look at talent, him coming out, he fucking changed the game.
Yep.
The game. There was no mobile quarterback that can throw. Now that's all you want. That's all you want is what he could do. Probably just a lot cleaner off the field. Put some respect on this man's name. 9.8 is way too fucking low for what, not only for what he did on the field, but what he did for the sport of football. What he did for the game. And let's not even talk about, he has one of the most underrated signature shoe lines of all time.
100%.
Yeah. All time.
Well, yeah, it's a roller coaster ride. You didn't know?
Listen, you have Eli Manning on now. You just stay quiet.
He deserves to be on there.
Listen, the fact that you have potentially Russell Wilson, who's a better quarterback, lower than Eli Manning simply because of 2 rings. That's it. I don't want to hear enough out of you. I want to hear another peep. I don't want to hear another peep out of Pete for right now. People forget about Michael Vick.
Dude, he was everywhere. That's the thing, too. He was everywhere. He
was down there almost. He was the face of the league.
Yeah.
Until the dogfight incident.
Yeah.
He was the face of the league. He was it. And you're talking about if Andy had Mike Vick from the jump.
Oh my God.
Andy may still be the coach of the Philadelphia.
Oh my God, yeah.
That would have been fun.
No question.
Him and do everything you would do and insert Mike Vick. Mike Vick in that Super Bowl against the Patriots in 2004.
You can't stop it. You can't stop that offense.
Mike Vick and T.O.
You can't
Mike
stop
Vick,
it.
T.O. Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, you can't stop that.
Oh my God, yeah.
You can't stop that offense.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's different. And to answer your question, I mean, anybody, you can go around again, and then we'll come back to the Vic versus Lamar Jackson question. But I just had to get off my chest.
I will say, though, real quick, my favorite Michael Vick commercial was I think it was a Madden commercial where the kid's in the
yes, the roller coaster commercial.
Gets put in the roller coaster. It's like the Mike Vick experience or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Pete, I love everything you said. I love it. And I do not want to come off as someone who has forgotten about Mike Vick or would disrespect Mike Vick, because how many times, Pete, you've been on the show with me for I don't know how many years now, but how many times have I said on the show that Mike Vick's 2010 season is the greatest season by a quarterback I've ever seen? I've said it countless times. Mm-hmm. I've never seen someone perform that way at quarterback than Mike Vick, like ever. And I will always remember him for that. His story too, comeback story with the Eagles, one of the greatest stories I think that I'm a fan of. So I love Mike Vick. I will make that clear. What I will rebuttal to is that everything that you said, I think, pertains to his legacy and his impact as a trendsetter, as an innovator, as a person who was as a league icon. Mm-hmm. So because he was the first of his kind, he impacted and changed the game. Think of it like Allen Iverson in NBA. Yeah. I think with them coming similar, like they came from Virginia, both of them, right? They're respectively the same time. Similar impacts to each of their leagues, where totally changed the game, totally redid how the game is played. Absolutely. And Vic's impact is still being felt today. Absolutely. But is Allen Iverson a top 10 player ever? No. And
what?
Top 10,
No, he's not.
Top 10 NBA player ever?
Top 10 NBA player ever.
Yeah. No.
Now he's top 25.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
The only thing I would say to your list is and this is just me.
Mm-hmm.
My list is as if everything right situation, right coach.
Right. Yeah, that's how I'm.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So if you tell me Andy Reid has Mike Vick from day one, you can name 4 other or 5 other quarterbacks better than that you would rather have over Mike Vick to start an organization.
The thing that I want to believe that if Mike Vick was in the right situation from day one, that everything would have worked out. I want to believe that so bad. If I'm looking at compared to some of the other names on this list, I don't know that for sure. The only reason is because after 2010, Vic never reached that level of play. He never was able to duplicate what he did in 2010. I wanted it so bad, but he never was. And because 2010 was kind of his outlier year, I can't even say that, like, even if you gave him the right circumstances, he would have ever become and consistently been his 2010 version of himself throughout his whole entire career. That's why I have him. I had him in my tier 3. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I did 2 tiers. He's just right there. So I don't want to make it seem like he's so far out, but I couldn't put him in that second tier because of that. That's hesitancy. And I hated admitting that because I root for Mike Vick. I rooted for Mike Vick so hard, but I had to be fair. Like the established consistency that my 2 tiers of quarterbacks had is just I can't look beyond that opposed to Mike Vick.
Actually, now I have 10 quarterbacks now. I just did 3 other ones real quick.
Okay, so then go with your 10.
So 10, just off of talent,
yeah,
would be Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Okay.
Oh my God, I don't want to spell out his whole name.
I did you just put Big Ben?
Yeah, Ben.
Because that's horribly wrong.
Yeah.
So is Ben.
Are you sure?
I can spell it for you if you want.
Yeah, what is it?
Because Jake has him ranked.
Yeah, I do. ROETHLISBERGER.
That's exactly how I have it spelled.
Whatever.
Oh, I didn't see the T in there. Sorry.
It's just font. I didn't see the T in there. It's just font.
That font is very small, sir.
Joe Horskowski makes a great point. He says Iverson's the top
comment?
player since 2000. Maybe top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're talking about since 2000, yeah.
Yeah, since 2000, yeah.
But all time.
I'd have to look at that too. So that's fair. That's a good point. I'd have to rethink it.
9.
I never really thought about that. So 9, yeah. Who's your 9?
9, and once again, mine is purely talent. And this organization fucked his career up. RG3. People forget.
Ooh.
Wow. Are you serious?
Ooh. I like that.
Mr. Eli Manning. Shut your mouth.
Come on.
Number
I
8.
don't agree with it, but I see where he's coming from.
Okay.
Number 8. He probably could have been higher on this list. Andrew Luck.
I thought about having him there.
That low.
I thought about having him there.
Well, because once again, I'm talking about who I would start. And you talk about if everything is everything and he was still playing, obviously he'd be higher on this list.
Okay.
But just taking that short track record of where he's at and the other guys I have in front of him, I just can't.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. All right. So Jake, who do you have? I have him so much higher. So it's like, Jake, where do you have Andrew Luck ranked?
I'm debating on if I want to move him into this spot because to be completely honest, I completely forgot about Andrew Luck.
You forget about him because he hasn't been in the league for so long.
Yeah, that's shame on me. And plus his career ended earlier. But if you're talking about talent,
on his terms,
yeah, and if you're talking about talent and just all around like a competitor, you don't have to worry about stuff off the field. You know what? Yeah, screw it. Put him at 8.
You have him 8.
Yeah, put him at 8.
Why do you have Andrew Luck?
I would probably have him right outside.
Right outside. I have Andrew Luck at the top of my tier 2.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like Andrew Luck. I feel like we forget he was
He's
like,
great.
He was insanely talented,
Mm-hmm.
and he never had help in Indy.
He never had a line. He never had a line. Forget about help. He never had a line.
Had T.Y. Hilton and Reggie Wayne for a little bit, right? So
yeah.
But like he never had pass protection, and he still put up so many damn numbers. I think we forget how like Andrew Luck in today's game, where it's a running quarterback, athletic quarterbacks, he absolutely would have fit in just fine.
Yep.
Andrew Luck could have come into the draft this year, and he would be in the top pick overall.
Yeah,
he could have been in the same draft as Trevor Lawrence, and I think he would have been a top pick overall over Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, he was that damn good. So he's in tier 2 for me at 5, the very top of that tier.
Okay.
Andrew Luck was awesome. So I actually just changed it. I made it top 8. So I'll read off my 8. At 8, I have Matthew Stafford.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford. I think that obviously the ring helps with the Rams, but I know Pete will agree that Matthew Stafford, we've been fans of him for so long.
Mm-hmm.
He just was in a horrible franchise.
Yep.
Horrible franchise. Didn't know what. I mean, that franchise wasted the careers of Barry Sanders and Megatron. So, I don't know. Matthew Stafford, I think I don't want to leave him out of this tier. So I have him right at 8 in tier 2. Incredible arm, underrated athleticism, gunslinger. And tough as nails. We all know tough as nails. But he's one of the toughest quarterbacks.
Did you know he was roommates with Clayton Kershaw?
Yeah, they're best friends.
Yeah.
I love what Clayton took his stance with the Dodgers. That's a whole separate story.
Yeah.
So we got Vinny, my boy Vinny, Eli Manning, top 10 since 2000. Stop. Exactly. Vinny,
it's a correct stance. I'm sorry. It's
really not.
That's a bow-legged as hell stance, bro.
He does say
you put RG3 on here. I'm not listening to you say right now.
Out of quarterbacks we'd build around, I definitely have RG3.
Yeah, I'd rather build around RG3
no question.
if I had him in his rookie year over Eli. Yeah.
No question.
So yeah, Vinny says Luck was this stuff. So so let's go to start with 7. So Jake. So who's your 7?
I'm like sighing because I'm like saying it with disgust, but I'm really not. But I have to be that guy. Give me Pat. Number 7.
Really?
Yeah, give me 7? Pat. Give me Pat.
7?
Just because, like, don't get me wrong. I get the talent, and I'm all for it. And everything he's accomplished in his, 4 years as a starter? Because remember, he sat for the 1 year. So 4 or 5, whatever. It's been incredible, but it's just, again, it's a small sample size, and I get it. We know he's going to be good for a long time, and I understand it. But I can't put him up to top 5 right now. And again, that'll change. Say in like a year or two, we do this list again, I'll probably have him much higher. But right now, I have him number 7.
And let's look, Jake. This is what it is. Let's just call a spade a fucking spade. He has the perfect situation out of everyone on this list outside of number 1.
Uh-huh.
No other quarterback on this list fell into the pot because Andy went through the trials and tribulations. He went through all the errors. He went through everything that didn't work. And then that's once again, Pat Mahomes wasn't even thought of that high in his own draft.
No.
To the point where Andy literally found a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? I get Vinny. That's all well and good. That's for you. But when
I get it.
When you talk about the other players on this list, and if everything is equal and you want to build the team, You have to. If you get Patrick Mahomes, I'm not. Now that we see it, you think he would have success in any system.
Yeah.
He would have success in any system. But I'm also curious to see what this offense does, because the play that they killed us with in the Super Bowl, whoever the OC they got now, the retread that was the OC before was a coach of Chicago is now Matt Nagy. Mm-hmm. He wasn't coming up with that shit. Now he don't have Eric Bieniemy. I don't know how much Eric Bieniemy did. You see what I'm saying? And it's different now. I like what I don't have him at 7. You feel what I'm saying? I got him just a little bit higher, but I can see Jake's point. I mean, once again, it's the same thing. If you take Patrick Mahomes' talent, right, and you take Mike Vick's talent, and you have the world at your hands to build the perfect team. I mean, you can ask 10 people. I think it's going to be split 50-50, in my opinion. Just because as good as Patrick Mahomes is, he can't do with his legs what Mike Vick can do. Now, Patrick Mahomes, obviously arm angles, arm strength, everything else, yes. Right. Mike Vick, damn near, he's not doing all this shit. But Mike Vick, you should drop it and release it from the side. Mm-hmm. And he can make every throw on the field. And he's a running threat.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get that. Patrick Mahomes has become one of the smartest quarterbacks in the entire league. Mm-hmm. One of the smartest quarterbacks in the entire league. A couple years ago, Peter, if I don't know if you remember, we were ranking quarterbacks in one of the summers, and you ranked Josh Allen ahead of Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know if you remember what I said. I said, and that was the year Patrick Mahomes struggled in the first half of the year.
Yep.
And my point to you was, Mahomes is still one because people have now tried to correct or tried to change things up on him that made him struggle and change his game, and he did it. And he came out the other end with flying colors. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen has not been able to do that yet.
No. I will also say at the same time, though, Josh, once again, I think for this one, it's kind of like with Mahomes, and this is not the dissing. It's going to sound like that, but I kind of look at Mahomes the same way I look at Brees. I don't think enough credit is being put on Andy and how Andy and his staff is playing fucking chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you're using the okay. If I had Andy to go with Vic, it would have this. You have Andy go with Mahomes. You see what happens. You put both of them. You put both of them with Andy. I think Mahomes is showing he is already far better anything that Mike Vick could become. And I say that because it's not like I don't know you're not saying that, but it's not like Mahomes doesn't have athleticism.
Right.
Mahomes has athleticism.
He just don't have to use it.
He doesn't have to use it. Now, no one – I think Vic is still the most athletic quarterback we've ever seen. So I'm not going to say anyone is on his level. The closest thing we have is Lamar Jackson, okay? So
until Anthony Richardson hits his prime.
Yeah. But the thing is, Patrick Mahomes – Vic might have him on legs. Patrick Mahomes has him on arm talent, and this.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's come up bigger in bigger games already. We've seen it. So I'm not going to reveal where I have Patrick Mahomes at because I'm going to save it. I will say he is toward the top. PY, where do you have Patrick Mahomes? Is he towards your top? Don't say exactly where he's at.
He's towards my top.
He's towards your top. Okay, we'll save it then. Pete, where do you have Mahomes then? You said a little bit higher.
5.
Okay.
Number 5.
We'll always love you.
Yep.
I don't know if I can agree to putting him.
Well, I like Mike Vick more than most.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. That's fine.
And I think with the Mahomes thing too, and I get it, but I think recency bias has a lot to do with it also.
Yeah. Well, I guess so, but Mahomes has 2.
No, yeah, I'm not discounting that by any stretch.
He's played 5 years in the league, or I guess 6 now, right?
I think
as a starter, I think it's 5.
6.
Yeah, so 5 years. So 5 years as a starter, 5 AFC championship games, 3 AFC Championship victories, 2 Super Bowl victories, and 3 Super Bowl appearances. Like, that's ridiculous. That's Brady. That's Brady coming out.
That's a career for most quarterbacks.
It is.
That's a career for most quarterbacks.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pete, who do you have at 7? Or PY? I'm sorry, PY. We have 7.
Roethlisberger.
Okay. I'm just going to do the last thing because for me. I forgot, Jake. I forgot to ask you. Did you have Roethlisberger ranked?
I have Ben 6.
6. Okay, so you have I do not have.
He just typed right now because he just wanted. He know how to spell it. Asshole.
I just don't want to make it fit. Roethlisberger was in my tier 3, so he didn't make my top 8.
Okay,
but he's in my 3rd tier. I don't know, Jake and PY. I don't know if you guys want to talk about Big Ben.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Ben in his prime, and you just saw how dominant he was, and especially in today's game, you get a young Ben Roethlisberger in here. Ben, people forget Ben was mobile early on in his career. Ben could move with his legs.
And big.
As big as he was,
yeah,
he could move. But
imagine being a rugby player who can like skirt from side to side and like do 360s around dudes.
It's just insane with as big as he was, and he's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. And you're talking about translating into today's game. He might be more dominant now than he was back then.
Young Ben Roethlisberger was like a 300-pound ballerina. Like, that's literally like how I would describe him. Like,
man, wasn't
Pete, I don't know if I ever got if you want to give a take on Big Ben.
Durable, big arm, withstanding and take a hit, was mobile when he was younger. I think he is what the ceiling of Russell Wilson's career should have been.
Yep.
Because when they won in 08 and they won when they won in 05, it was mainly the defense. And then obviously they just shut Seattle down. That's the same thing equate that to Seattle's win against Denver in 2013. Mm-hmm. And then he came back in 08 and he did it with his arm. Everybody remembers that was probably one really should have been our fucking Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Kevin Curtis. But
can you imagine that Super Bowl? Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. Can you imagine that Super Bowl, the Keystone Super Bowl, Steelers versus Eagles? How amazing that would have been.
I would look at McNabb so much differently.
Me and my 4 best friends, we've said it for years. One thing we want before we die is a Keystone State Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's what I want.
The Steagles Super Bowl.
That's what I want.
Hurts versus Pickett. Let's go.
I'm fine. As long as I get it in my lifetime, I'll be happy.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. And I don't know if you guys, real quick before we move on, but like, do you guys hate the Steelers? Like some
No, I don't get the hate for the Steelers. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Like,
I mean, I understood it when they had Roethlisberger because I can't stand him, but I'm like, what about the Steelers do I hate now? Like, I like Kenny Pickett. Like, George Pickens is awesome. Mm-hmm. The coach I have a relationship with. Like
Mike Tomlin's awesome. I love Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin's like that one dude from Friday Night Lights. It just every time I think about it.
Yeah, he's so good. You gotta respect Mike Tomlin. Yeah. All right, so moving to Pete, do yours number 7. Who's you got 7?
Number 7 is Drew Brees.
Okay.
That is saying a lot for you. I know how much me and you, like, we agree on Drew Brees in terms of the system. He's in my tier 3. I did not have Drew
Really?
Brees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the greatest arm, we all know that, but probably the greatest anticipation thrower ever in the game.
100%.
Smart.
He just knew where it was going.
Right. Yeah. Durable, tough. Like you said, and ball control, ball placement was elite.
In his prime, you could probably say he was one of the best ever.
Brees could have won a game with a blindfold on. Let's just be honest.
I'm pretty sure, like, if you gave him his drop and you tell him we're running this play and you just put a target where the ball has to go, he'd probably get pretty close.
Oh, he'll hit it, yeah.
If you want, I'll round out my 10 because you guys all have the 10. So Drew Brees was at 9.
Okay.
So and then, what we'll call it. Drew Brees was at 9, and then it was tough. Right now, it's you know what? I'll just put my pick here.
Okay.
It was tough between him and one other person.
Okay.
And I went back and forth, but
Who was the other person?
The other person was Justin Herbert.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Justin Herbert. But I'll put Mike Vick there. Okay. Drew Brees. Anyone else have Drew Brees ranked?
I have him 4.
4. Okay.
I'm at 5.
We have him at 5. Cool. All right. You guys want to add anything to Brees?
No, I think Pete pretty much hit it on the head.
Okay.
Without Sean Payton, it would be very fun to see what he would be.
I mean, he was good in San Diego.
He was solid in San Diego. He wasn't what he was in New Orleans. I think
he wasn't.
That's a little bit of a different level. But I mean, imagine if Nick Saban stayed.
Yeah.
Imagine. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yep. All right, I'll go with my 7. My 7.
Chad Pennington.
Philip
Rivers?
Philip.
Yes.
Philip
Rivers. You're making that face.
What? Why face?
I'm thinking you may. I'm interested to see the remaining. I know who at least 3 of the top. Well, 4 of your 6 are.
Okay. So you think
waiting,
Rivers is
I'm
low.
waiting to see where that
you're saying Rivers is low on my list.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying Rivers is low on your list. I didn't rank Rivers.
Oh, you didn't rank him?
I didn't either.
I kind of forgot about him. Sorry, but by you having him on there, I'm wondering who you left off that I may have.
Okay, that is interesting to say.
Mm-hmm. Because I will probably bet decent money that Jake nor PY had Philip Rivers ranked.
I had Philip Rivers 8.
But
then I switched it up for Andrew.
PY, did you?
I have Philip Rivers at 6.
Okay. 6. Okay. Let me put that in there. So just Philip Rivers at 6. So to those who don't have him ranked, I think Philip Rivers gets overlooked because he played in the era of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning,
right?
And never ever sniffed anything in the postseason.
Nope.
And he didn't have the talent around him too. You know, he had LT, but
that was it.
I think if you go to his stat, and I'm not a huge stats person.
His numbers are crazy.
But look at his damn numbers.
His numbers are
and
insane.
There is a reason why people look at him and say, out of the quarterbacks who've never won a Super Bowl, he is up there because he was methodical. He was insane. Oh yeah, Joe does remind Antonio Gates. My bad. Yeah, he had Antonio Gates.
Duh. Yeah. What am I?
And what you forgetting about? Probably arguably the greatest running back of all time too.
Oh, LT. Yeah.
You said LT.
No, I said LT. Right at the back.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he had LT, and then I forgot about like receiving weapons.
Oh, now Brian Wilson decides to show up. Where was you at Monday, Wills?
Ooh. Well, yeah, Philip Rivers was insanely talented, and he's not my typical mode
on and off the field.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Well done. But like, man, as a pocket quarterback, and in the early 2000s or late 2000s when he came along, man, like he was so.
He was great.
Good. PY, I don't know if you had anything to add.
You just got like your heart has to just break for Philip Rivers just because he's just a good dude and he loved the game and he just wanted to whoop people's asses every week and play football. And you're stuck between Brady and Manning and you're just screwed.
And also, I mean, let's not forget he played the AFC Championship game on a torn ACL.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yep. He did.
Tough Alabama SOB, bro.
Yes.
Absolutely.
To quote Gridiron Heights, he's a mother-fludging GD HOFer.
Yeah.
And also, I know PY kind of made a joke to him about how many kids he has, but
was he like 12?
Something like
dedicated father and family man.
Yeah.
Like, he drove back and forth like all the time to be with his family. Like, dude, like
that's commitment. Yeah.
Look,
he's cut from a different cloth, man.
Yeah.
Nobody is single-handedly trying to destroy abstinence more than Philip Rivers. He's in the back burning condoms.
Well, like my favorite, like, and again, I look at this more than I think I should. He's a great shit talker.
Oh yeah,
my favorite. Like on the field, it doesn't matter if it's a big D lineman who's like 6'7".
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's like, I'm killing you guys. I'm killing you all day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's what I loved about him. He was never scared of anybody.
Ryan spoke this. Even if your guys' whole list not displayed, I'm shocked Mahomes is already on the board. He needs to be higher. So yeah,
fair.
Wait till we get to the top. So 6. Pete, go with your 6 because you're missing your 6.
6 would be Brett Favre.
Okay. Brett Favre.
Jake, do you have him ranked?
I have him 5.
Him 5. Sorry, hold on. And then PY, do you have him ranked?
No.
Okay. I do not have him ranked. I can't do it. To me, Brett Favre was always one of the most overrated quarterbacks.
He's in the welfare section for me.
Overrated, so overrated. I can't. Yeah,
especially in the 2000s.
I'll leave it at that. But Pete, he is at your 6, so you and Jake can talk about. Jake has him at 5. Go ahead.
You want to go, Peter? Okay.
I mean, whatever he is as a person off the field, especially now.
Yeah.
He had his team of Super Bowl contenders every year. You thought they had a chance to go. Now, did they go? No. Is he the best clutch quarterback in the playoffs? No. I mean, he threw picks at big times.
Yep.
Especially to the Eagles. We pretty much always beat them in the playoffs when they're facing.
Thanks, Brett.
I wish we were facing him in 2010 and not Aaron Rodgers when Mike Vick underthrew Riley Cooper.
Yeah.
On the go route.
Yep.
But I mean, he did have Holmgren.
When Holmgren was good.
When Holmgren was good.
Holmgren was good.
I mean, he always had talent, but it's like he has this, and this is why I think he gets so well. Like he never could really articulate really well. Obviously,
yeah, he wasn't.
He had like this infectious attitude. You knew you were going to get the best. Like I don't ever think he mailed it in. You know what I mean? And he had his arm was just ridiculous. Like he was what Jeff George was supposed to be. And people don't remember Jeff George. Obviously, I think some of our younger listeners may not remember. But Jeff George, out of arm talent, probably had one of the best arms of all time, and just never cared. He never practiced. And Brett Favre wasn't like that. I mean, he could have stuck. He could have stuck there in Atlanta and been there for years. But Green Bay got him, and then he was just your Wrangler jeans wearing Mississippi boy that wanted to win. I mean, he only got one, but still, I know that was before 2000. So, I mean, but out of the if I'm building a team and everything is everything,
right?
That's why I have him there.
If this was 90s Favre, I'd probably have him top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 2000s Favre. So.
That's fair.
Like 90s Favre was on another level. Like he was gunslinger, but like everything, even if he was like getting picked off, like some of the throws he was making were just next level. Like he was finding guys that no one else was finding.
Yep.
Like he was backyard football in the NFL.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
The originator of gunslinger McTumbleweed.
All right, so I have my 6. My 6. I don't know if this will.
This is going to be one that shocks me.
Yeah, same. I'm kind of waiting for it.
I'm curious.
What's the first letter of the first name?
Probably J.
Jalen Hurts. Oh, Josh.
Get out! No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I can see it.
No, yeah, I can totally see it.
Absolutely. Pete, do you have him ranked?
No.
Jake?
I do not.
BY obviously does not.
No.
I just no, not yet. Not yet.
No, he
But hold on.
showing.
But if you were to mold outside of like if you were to create a player in a football game, NFL 2K quarterback, and you would give him exactly like the perfect everything.
Oh yeah.
Like what you want, you have Josh Allen.
Yeah, 100%.
Runner, big arm, athletic, size. He came up big. He just was on the losing end because of overtime rules. So, like, that matchup. Josh Allen, and I will even preface it with this. When Josh Allen, the first 2 or 3 years when he was bad, I was not a Josh Allen fan at all because I was like, this guy has all the physical tools needed to be one of the greats, but he hasn't figured it out yet. Mm-hmm. But then he got Diggs, and that season he figured it out. Yep. Now, is he still prone to interceptions? Oh, absolutely. But so was Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure if you look up interception rate, he's not nearly as close to what Brett Favre's was. And Josh Allen, in terms of talent, has much more talent than Brett Favre ever had. Yeah. So he is to me like the new version, and not as good, but that's why I have him just behind him. But like he's the new version of Andrew Luck. Prototypical build and talent for what you want in a quarterback. Josh Allen just is now, and like I think Andrew Luck was a little bit more talented and smarter than Josh Allen. But like physical tools, Josh Allen is a prototype. And then obviously we have Anthony Richardson, who is another creative player type of quarterback, in the NFL, but he hasn't played a snap. So that's all projection. But Josh Allen, we've seen it. Josh Allen is now arguably the second or third best quarterback in the game, bar none. Mm-hmm. Like it's I don't think it's a debate. He has to be 2 or 3. And I think that he's going to keep going. So looking at him, he just has too many physical tools for me to ignore.
I would say that, like, when I look at Josh Allen play in his prime, he reminds me of, we just talked about, 90s Brett Favre.
Yeah. Yep.
Just without the legs.
Mm-hmm. The decision making.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he would, like, 90s Brett Favre would have throws that make you go, wow. And I mean, Josh Allen, we've seen it, throws that just make you go, like, how do you do that?
But I think also, though, Josh Allen has much more on his shoulders and does more for his offense. Like, Josh Allen doesn't have a running game. Josh Allen does not have a running game. He is the run game. We talk about Jalen Hurts being the run game for the Eagles. Josh Allen is that for the Bills. Yep. And they continually force him to be Superman. They make him beat everything to the offense, and he does a lot. Now, he presses too much. I absolutely admit that. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, right now, like, I'd say he's like the third best quarterback. But I mean, if I'm going to build a franchise and expect them to have that player for their careers, Josh Allen to me is just, it's too much of like generational type of talent and physical ability.
Okay.
Dominic says, if you have Josh Allen, you better have Big Nab. What? Since when? Stop it.
Yeah, they're not even the same quarterback.
Not even good. Stop it. Okay. PY. So now we're entering top 5 territory. Okay. So PY, who do you have at 4?
Mr. Discount Double Check.
Okay.
Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron. Okay. Jake, you have him?
I have him 3.
3. Pete, where do you have him?
2.
Okay.
I have him at. I flip-flopped like between the two. I you know what? I have him at 4.
Oh.
I have him at 4. Yeah.
Okay.
So PY, I'll let you lead off because you talked a lot.
I mean, is as much of a cuckoo banana guy as he is right now. Like, he is one of the greatest throwers of football I've ever seen. Like, when it comes, like, obviously, like, he has not been to a Super Bowl since 2010. He still won that Super Bowl. He's won multiple MVPs. There has been so many clutch moments with Rodgers to where you're just like, how did you do that? Mm-hmm. Like, that throw, I still remember it's 2016. And I'm watching that Cowboys game with a bunch of friars.
Oh, the one that Jared Cook?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, oh, he missed it. Out of bounds. And every freaking time. I'm amazed by the throw every freaking time because only Aaron Rodgers could make that throw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only Aaron Rodgers can destroy the Cowboys' hopes.
Love it.
My favorite. One thing. My favorite Rodgers moment. Well, that's great. Will always be the game where they're playing against the Cowboys in the regular season. I think it's like a few years ago where there's a minute left and the Cowboys think they're going to win the game. And there's a dude on Snapchat who's just like, there's a minute 30. They actually think they're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Devontae Adams on that fade route. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah.
That was so good. Yeah. Oh, no, Jake, go ahead.
So, and again, me personally, as far as just a passer, I think he's the best thrower of the football in NFL history. In one of my, again, Pete said a lot of it, just clutch moments, but seeing it in person, because I was there, I think it was Carson Wentz's rookie year. I think what was it, Sunday night or Monday Night Football, where the Packers just blew us out, and Rodgers was throwing dime after dime after dime and throws that I've never seen before. It's just what he can do with the football is unbelievable, and I don't know if necessarily we'll ever see that again, but maybe. I don't know, but yeah, just talking about talent, and obviously not what he is now, like Pete alluded to, but just everything you want in a quarterback, you have in Aaron Rodgers.
Pete, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, greatest throw of football I've ever seen.
Yep.
Just makes it look effortless. Every throw, can run when he needs to. Smart, doesn't turn it over. And I mean, out of all the QBs on this list, the ones who have Super Bowls, I argue to say that 2010 Super Bowl team that he had and who he had to beat in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
The 9 other fucking teams couldn't do it. The 9 other quarterbacks on this list couldn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was otherworldly in 2010. Because remember, it was a wild card team.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how Ryan can have him as his fifth. Like, dude, like you look at what they had around him, and he was doing it with Mike McCarthy, which is a fucking crutch. That is not a positive. That is not a positive by any means. That is a crutch.
Yeah, that's the bad Mike McCarthy. That's the bad. Brett Favre has a good Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers had the bad Mike McCarthy.
Yes. So I mean, just if you want to build a team and you see this dude throwing the football, you get him in there. Now his personality is not the best. Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem like the team rah guy, but everything else, man, just dude.
Yeah. I agree with everything that everyone said. Pete, what you just mentioned, the last thing you mentioned, was ultimately my tiebreaker as to why I voted 4 and not 3. Okay. But everything, like in terms of per talent, Aaron Rodgers was he was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes came. That was the most talented quarterback, and just a pure talent. It was Aaron Rodgers, and then Patrick Mahomes came, and it was Mahomes. So I totally agree with everything you're saying. I think it's no-brainer. I think the 4 that I have are no-brainers. The top 4, that's why I have them in tier 1. Like, I think those are the 4 where you're just like, they're the best since 2000. They're the 4 that I would absolutely no question. The 4 I'd absolutely most have to build my team around. So, Rodgers. Do you mind if I give you off with 3?
Go ahead.
Okay. This guy is probably my personal favorite quarterback ever. Probably.
Okay. The Sheriff.
I love him. I love the guy so much.
Jake Cutler?
Pete, where do you have Mr. Sheriff?
3.
Okay. Jake.
Number 2.
Eli?
3.
Okay. So we have them all around the same age.
Yeah. Yep.
I just. What else, guys? Before, and I'll say this, before the Super Bowl 51, when the Patriots came back against the Falcons, up until that point, I still had Peyton Manning as the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah. Yep. So, yep. Me too.
That Super Bowl happened, and I'm like, I can't make the argument.
He's the
I
GOAT.
can't make the argument anymore. I can't do it. Like it's I can't do it. But from the tiebreaker, like I said, was the leadership. I think Peyton Manning was so like, and you hear all the stories about practice and how he was an a-hole, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in a good way. Like he demanded things a certain way. It didn't matter who he had as head coach, even though Tony Dungy was one of the greats. Like,
yeah,
we love Tony Dungy, but to me, he was the coach. He was the offensive coordinator on the damn field. He was the playbook. There's a reason why his head grew as the more he played, because that brain of his was just insane. One of the smartest quarterbacks, if not the smartest and most cerebral quarterback to ever play the game. And that's why, like, even though he didn't have the strongest arm, even though he didn't have athleticism, like his ability to beat you from the pocket, I think was just bar none, just absolutely bar none. So I love him. I have him at 3. I wish I could have him higher objectively, but I can't. But he's probably personally my favorite quarterback ever. I love him, and I think he's hilarious. People think he's corny.
Oh, he's so funny.
He's corny. I think he's so hilarious.
Yeah,
I would watch a whole show with just him and his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
probably
very
used
funny.
to torment the shit out of Eli too.
Are you kidding me?
100%.
Did you ever see the SNL thing that never aired, where he's just like throwing the ball at the kids? He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
The make-a-wish thing.
Yeah.
Did you just hit my kid? No, your kid got in the way of the football.
Yeah, Peyton Manning player.
Get a little dent out.
Yeah. I don't know if whatever you guys want to add to the Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I mean, and Joseph says it real well here. Peyton Manning made his OCs irrelevant. He called the plays, changed line of scrimmage based on the defense every single – yeah. And I remember there was an interview with oh, my God, what's his name? The wide receiver for Denver who passed away. Oh, my God.
Demarius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas. He was talking about how complicated Peyton Manning's offense is. He said it's the toughest offense I've ever had to learn because it's so complex. There's a lot of verbiage and that whole thing. But it just goes to show how hard the guy worked. He knew what he wanted. He knew what worked. And from that, I mean, people can say what they want about him in the playoffs. He was a great regular season quarterback, blah, 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 blah. But
it's fair. I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. But it's just – he was just unbelievable. As far as like a football mind, I get what you were saying, Tux. He's one of the smartest. I think he was the smartest.
Yes.
As far as football, as a football mind goes, he knows every single part, like of where a defensive player is going to be when he's on the field. He knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. Practically, it's like Naruto with the Sharingan. Anime reference.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know if we'll ever have a quarterback to the level of like football intellect of Peyton Manning ever again. Now maybe his nephew might be the second coming, but we'll see. That's still a little bit away, but for the time being, he's the smartest quarterback in NFL history, in my opinion.
Yep.
My favorite Peyton play will always and forever will be when he was playing for Denver and they're going against the Cowboys and they know he's not running. He's not going anywhere. It's a handoff.
Oh, yeah.
And his ass is in that end zone for 10 seconds waiting on that defender.
Well, and it was funny because the cameraman's on the pile for like another 5 seconds, and then it moves up. I'm like, oh, Peyton's in the end zone.
I love bootlegs. I especially love bootleg runs. And, like, he's just so slow getting there. Like, anyone would be able to stop him. But, like,
he's so slow.
Don't ever see it coming.
He's so slow.
I think I could beat him in a race.
Oh, any of us could. Trust me.
Probably could.
Any of us could.
That's what made him so great. It made him so great. He was that good. Yeah. We got Chrome. He says he agrees to the polls. Says what's up. And then Don. Pete Young got Eli Manning.
I love it.
I'm surprised Pete Young did.
I love Sammy Sleeves, man.
Sleeves.
You don't win a Super Bowl without sleeves.
Him and his crooked eye.
Joe Orkowski says, "Do you think if Manning had Belichick, he would have won 6 to 7 titles?"
Yes.
I do think so.
Yeah.
I think
Give
so.
Peyton what Brady had, and I think he wins at least another 4.
Yeah, I think it's close. I think if he doesn't get the 6 or 7, like I think it's very close. I think it's very close. Yeah,
because I think from like how Peyton does his practices and how we've heard he does his practices, I think him and Bill would get along very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's the exact opposite, that they would have punched each other in the face. After
Oh yeah, they're too similar where they would just argue. Yeah,
because that happens a lot.
Oh, that's great. All right, guys. Moment of truth.
Time to see who's right and who's obviously wrong.
Here we go. So
I mean, it's kind of, we already know that you and PY have Mahomes second, and you know who.
We are the smartest ones in the room.
How about that?
Congratulations. Way to be on the same team.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna fill this in.
Yep.
That's presumptuous. How do you know I have him won?
I will leave this fucking show if you don't have Tom Brady number 1.
I will never do a show on this
I
platform
have this
again.
right so far, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm afraid to ask PY. Do you want me
Yes,
to go
he's
first,
won.
or do you want PY to go first? What do you guys think?
Let PY go.
PY, who is your 2 and who is your 1?
On the one hand, I want to see Pete break something, but on the other hand, I don't want to get fired on air.
Fair enough.
Mahomes is 2.
Okay.
He sounds so sad.
I know.
Yeah,
He's not so
Mahomes is 2.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah. And then Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
At 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so we all had Tom Brady at 1. I think. Do we have to explain Tom Brady?
No.
Yeah, the Tom Brady, greatest competitor of all time.
He's the 199th pick.
Oh, Ryan Soap, real quick, I want to get this comment. Crazy, Denver didn't win it the year Manning set all-time records and got smoked in the Super Bowl versus Seattle. But then next year, he was injured. No, it's 2 years after, I think. 2 years after, he was injured and barely did anything.
Yep.
But they were led by the dominating defense.
Yep.
I think it goes to show that QB wins is not a QB stat. Just saying.
Unless you play for the Cowboys.
I think it was Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes at 2. I think it's firing people on the
Solo Pim.
What cartoon is that from?
It's Johnny Quest. It's what Haji says.
I know. I'm glad you knew.
Yeah.
I'm a big Johnny Quest guy.
Patrick Mahomes is 2. And I think that's if there's one quarterback that has the ability or the potential or a chance to catch or overtake Tom Brady as a GOAT, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's done so far, I think to me, it's so easy that he is the most talented quarterback that I've ever seen him play.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of just pure talent. Pure talent. And it's just, again, it was Aaron Rodgers until Patrick Mahomes came. I think Patrick Mahomes
on steroids.
It's insane. And the guy is still young.
He's a Madden player.
It's insane how good he is and what he's able to accomplish so far. And he's not even done. Nowhere near done.
How old is Mahomes?
What was it? Like, it's his
27, 28?
Patrick.
Like, he can have another 10 years playing.
The only thing I will say is
27, yep.
I need to, if him and Andy stay together, because I would say to see him do it without Andy, but I mean, Brady did the most of his work with Belichick.
Sorry, Pete. Sorry. You were saying what?
No, it's like I was going to say I want to see him do it without Andy, but Brady won 6 of his 7 with Belichick, but he had 7. But you still will get that, like, all right, can he do it without Andy? Like when Andy steps down and they get a new coach or whatever reason he changes teams. So that's the only thing. But once again, I will give him the nod over Brady in this sense. Brady's first 3, he wasn't Brady yet.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
These first 2 that he has won, he has been one, if not the main catalyst as to why they have won.
Yep.
He has won.
Brady. What year would you say Brady became Brady? Like 2007?
I would say the
MVP year.
Was it 2007?
Yep.
2007 with Randy, right?
Yeah.
That's when he entered into a new another category. Yeah, he wasn't like. Yeah, people forget 2001 to 2006. He wasn't like that. You know, he wasn't him. I think that's and I think to your point is 100% true. I think it also on the other side of it to kind of just play a devil's advocate. I think that kind of credits him too. The fact that late in his career he was able to improve, and then even further down the line he was even able to get better. He changed his mechanics. He became a great deep ball thrower. Like I think that part of Brady, even though he is not the most talented quarterback we've ever seen, I think the intangibles, the leadership, the competitiveness is just through the roof insane. The longevity, how he's taking care of his body. You can't like there's no way you can't. So, like he's the GOAT for a reason, and I think that like building your team around him is just common sense. But like I said, I think if there's one quarterback that has a chance to surpass him, I think it's Mahomes. Anything else on Mahomes or Brady that you're?
Don, you're crazy.
What do you think?
I kind of would have Cam Newton over Robert Griffin.
If I'm starting a franchise, because I think Cam you got to go one way.
Yeah.
With RG3, he could do both.
See, the thing is with Cam, his MVP year, that's kind of what I projected him to be when he got it all together. But it was just the 1 year. But I thought when Cam came into the league, what we saw as MVP year, using his legs, great passer, I thought that's what we were going to get from Cam. But unfortunately, it was just the one season.
Cam, see, like I can understand Don's argument, and I wouldn't be mad at people, but like. If I were to have them just molding, I would have RG3, like rookie RG3. I've never, to your point, Jake, like that MVP year. The thing with Cam Newton I've always made the argument for is when he's on, he's on. Like he's on. But when he's off,
he's terrible.
He's terrible. And I think that's the difference because that option was like that read option, zone read type of option where he or offense where he ran the ball a lot. And it's so in that aspect, it's similar to what Jalen Hurts did for us this year, right? But the thing is, Jalen Hurts' floor as a passer is already so much higher than Cam Newton's ever was. Cam Newton, like when he's having an off game, he will throw pick after pick after bad pass after bad pass, and I could never get over that. But when he's feeling it, when he's in like great momentum, he's got momentum going for him, and he's on it, he's in the zone. He was as good as anyone. But I had to take into account the lulls, the ups and the downs, and that roller coaster type of volatility in his play always kind of drew me back to why I wasn't as big of a Cam fan as others. I see the talent, I get it, but I think to what I'm saying, like Josh Allen to me is what Cam Newton was supposed to be, much better Cam Newton. That's why I have Josh Allen that high is because when he's on, it's so unstoppable. But to a lesser degree, Josh Allen's floor isn't as low as Cam Newton's ever was. So. And Josh Allen.
And also, too, like when we're RG3, it's simply because of injury.
Yeah.
I mean, like if he doesn't get hurt, who knows?
Well, and you look at Cam, too. Like just how he's built.
Mm-hmm.
The man was cut out of granite.
Yeah.
In his prime, he was what 6'5", and he was built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah.
And to move the way he did, it's insane to have all those tools.
Yeah.
Just in one body. But one thing I will say to all like young quarterbacks and stuff like that, don't look at Cam highlights for inspiration when you're learning how to throw a football.
Oh yeah.
Don't. It's just like it was so like weird how he did it. He'd throw off his back foot a lot. He'd do a lot of his torso and not much his hips.
But he had the arm, so he.
No doubt.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks who like that. They're not fundamentally sound in terms of textbook,
right?
But I think what's his name? QB school. JT O'Sullivan. It's whatever works for people. Sometimes it just works, and as long as you can get the job done, your mechanics aren't what they like. Your mechanics aren't going to be a big deal. It's when you can't get the job done, that's when mechanics become an issue. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think there's another analyst I follow, Mark Schofield. His saying is mechanics aren't an issue until they're an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's how.
And when it's all kind of, you hear that a lot of parallels to that in golf. It's like when you become too mechanical, it takes the athleticism out of you. Takes the athlete out of you.
Yep.
And that's where kind of you want to get in certain positions, but if you can deliver the ball in a certain way to where your athleticism marries in with the mechanics, there's some things that are just foundational, but then there's variations. And I think Cam is an example of that. But like you said, once you get off and you have to rely on mechanics to get you back in stride, he can never do that.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, gentlemen, anything else to add before we transition over? No. This was a good exercise. I thought this was fun. Yeah, this was only the beginning. We've done quarterbacks. We've got running backs and wide receivers to go in the next couple of weeks, which is awesome. So now we're going to transition over to No Huddle. But before we do, we've got a word from PST. Let me get to them, but I want to get rid of the banners first. So give me 1 second because that always gets in the way.
Oh, my God, Frank.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
So if you're looking to go to one of those, make sure you hit up Philly Sports Trips, the best in the business at that when it comes to away games. All right, gentlemen. So let me bring this out. So we're talking about Cam doing oh my God. Yeah. Oh
his
my
weird
God.
Typing, yeah.
His weird typing thing, yeah. Absolutely. All right, so let me change this.
He's top 32.
All right,
my brother.
So, No Huddle. Do you guys want to talk real quick about DeAndre Hopkins? Because I know last week we talked about where we'd want to see him go. I think I had him go to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, where did you have him go, Chiefs? Or Bills?
I had him going Chiefs, but I mean, I still want him here regardless. Because my whole thing is, God forbid AJ Brown or Devontae Smith go down.
Yep.
Who do you have?
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Quez Watkins or the other kid that we brought in, but Zacchaeus or however you say it. But you don't have another, what do you call it? You don't have another Robin out there. You know what I mean? Or an occasional Batman if need be. But and that's something that's not really being talked about as much. I know I'm seeing people on Twitter being like, "Oh, we don't need him. Our wide receivers are fine." For now, they're fine. If we stay healthy, then we're fine. But
right.
It's God forbid. You got to prepare for the worst. I mean, God, like I said, God forbid Smith goes down or Brown goes down, you're in trouble. And I get like we have Goddard and we also have our running backs, but you want to have all your pistons rolling as much as you can. You don't want your car moving and then something just starts to not work in your engine, and then you're kind of puttering along a little bit.
Yeah.
So I want to keep my offense moving. God forbid if there is an injury. So give me DeAndre.
Like my dad
Hopkins,
says, rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it. I've always been a DeAndre Hopkins fan. Ever since he became a rookie, I was like, oh my God, this guy is insane.
He's ridiculous.
Best ball skills in the game. I think that stayed consistent throughout his career. I would love to have him for every reason that you said, Jake. Now, do I think we're going to get him? I don't think so. I think he's going to go to the Chiefs. I think I saw a report earlier that the Bills don't have the cap space
Nope.
to make it happen. So probably not the Bills. So I'd say Chiefs. I think he's going to Chiefs.
But again, when you make the argument for DeAndre, just kind of enticing him to come here, what's the easier road, the AFC or the NFC to get to the Super Bowl?
That's true.
That's my big thing. Like I get being with Mahomes, and I know he also named Jalen Hurts as well. But if you want a quote unquote easier road to get there, then you go NFC. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, the reports are he wants more money, but we'll see. I can see him kind of taking a lesser deal, whatever that may be. I don't know, just to possibly win a championship. And that the other thing is too, get him on a 1-year deal. It might re-up his market. If he's here 1 year, we win a championship, and he has over like 1,000 yards and 8 or so touchdowns. Okay, thank you.
Alshon Jeffrey that shit.
Thank you, DeAndre.
If I'm him, there's one team I'm going to, and they have the cap space. It's not the, it's tougher. It's the AFC, but I'm going to the Jets.
Ooh,
that's where I would go.
Ooh, I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible for sure.
Him and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
but yeah, even in KC too. But I mean, you think about how Andy uses his big outside wide receivers. They usually like size and speed, and even DeAndre in his heyday, that wasn't him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I think Aaron Rodgers is a better thrower of the foot. I would say not thrower, but I'm not saying obviously Mahomes can't do it, but I've seen Aaron play with a bigger body wide receiver who with the skill set similar to DeAndre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, to be honest though, I don't think it's gonna matter if he goes to Chiefs.
No,
it won't matter.
I don't think it's in the sense of Andy's going to. He has the speed guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has guys. He's gonna make it work. Like if he goes to Chiefs, he'll make it work.
And he just drafted what's his name last year? What the hell is his name?
Sky Moore.
Yeah, Sky Moore. So
and then this year they drafted.
I mean, they literally just won the Super Bowl without
a star wide receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I got thinking, DeAndre Nuke is his nickname. Do you want to go to Kansas City or do you want to go to New York City?
Right,
North Jersey, New York.
Yeah. I'm just going off of his list of quarterbacks he wanted to play with, and Aaron Rodgers was not on them, so I'm not going to look at. I'm not going to look at them as a thing. Yeah, Vinny says Andy, Pat, Kelsey, incredible offense and team to play with. Yeah. Joe Horkowski does ask for upcoming show. Who's going to hire in the top 10 wide receivers since 2000 list? Hopkins or Andre? That's a good question. We'll have to see.
I'm biased.
We'll have to see. Yeah, you will have to see. We'd love to have you back on.
Y'all better get right.
I don't spoil anything. I know who I'd have. I'm just saying, it's he posed the question. Let's wait for the show to answer it. Anything else NFL wise that you guys want to talk about, or whatever? No huddle.
I think as far as the post June 1st, I think the cuts start tomorrow. I believe.
Yep. Hence post June 1st.
Yeah. Hence the post June 1st designations.
Yeah, because you said as far as Dalvin Cook not cut today.
Yeah, but Who do you think, aside from like, because I feel like there's always like one surprise player where you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Wow, I didn't see this.
Oh, good
Who
question.
could be a surprise cut?
I mean, I think Buddha would still be a surprise cut.
Ooh,
You think so?
ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good.
Who?
Name. Buddha Baker.
That would be insane. If he gets cut, I'd be like, yo.
I would love that. That'd be great.
Howie, please. Howie, please. Nobody's showing up for top 10 running back because Chuck's going to take
Yeah, I'm not. I say we all
Chuck's gonna do a solo show.
Oh my God, you guys have an opinion too. It's
No, we don't. No, we don't.
That's your bread and butter. You don't need us. You're fine.
What am I gonna do? There, stand like a bitch. Just like
it's the top 10 who you think.
it doesn't matter what I think.
It's not scouting reports. It
does
I
not
mean,
matter.
it has to matter. You still put Eli Manning on this list.
I can educate. I've educated it. I can. What the hell am I going to educate Chucks on running backs? Like,
oh my god, I can't wait to do running backs. You guys want to do running backs next week, or do you want to do it the week after?
Nah, I need a couple weeks for that.
Yeah, same. I need to like try and keep up with you. I need to do a deep dive
next week. Then
wide receivers will be fun.
Then running backs the week after. Okay,
wide receivers will be fun.
Cool.
What's next week? The 8th.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Are you gonna go see it? Well, June 15th is the day that.
No, that's going to be like no huddle for this week. Is like, dude, like it's a crazy movie month.
Yeah,
it is.
What we talk about.
It is.
Did anyone see Little Mermaid?
Not yet.
No.
I want to so bad.
No, I actually saw it and I thought it was really good.
That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing that it's really good.
I've heard like mixed things. Like either like people liked it or they didn't like it. There was like no in between.
People are just like nitpicking on stupid shit, and it's just like annoying.
Anyone say they didn't like it, but that's just me. I don't know. I'm on social media. Part of my crowd is Disney.
Like I didn't have much expectations, but like I liked it. It was really fun. It was different. They added a lot of cool stuff to it, and it's not just a retread, which is nice.
I heard the director took a similar approach of success as forget who it was, but what they did for Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Yeah. So like they built on the same thing, but then they just added. They added it and made it better. Like they didn't.
Yes, that's 100% how I would describe it.
Yeah, so that's good. If that's the concept or approach they took, then it's probably really.
Then good. I might like it. Then if that's
the original actress is actually in the movie for like a scene, and that's kind of
awesome.
fun.
That's awesome. Yeah,
because she's campaigned for her.
That's a downfall for a lot of these live action remakes is that like they try to change too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a totally different movie.
Yeah.
In a bad way.
Yep.
And then it's just like, and then like the editing and the stuff is it's just poor, so it leads to a bad movie. The downfall of Lion King was that you had animals who had no emotions. They were talking.
I don't give a shit.
Emotions. So like it was a bad movie. So I don't. Yeah, I'm going to see Little Mermaid. I just don't know when we'll have the time. But we're seeing Flash. I'm seeing Flash on June 15th at 3:00.
I'm
jealous. So I will still be on the show. I will still be on the show that day.
I am jealous.
I am going to be freaking out, but that'll be a great day because that'll be the Flash and it'll be running back rankings that day too.
I'll do my running back rankings from the theater.
From the theater,
be all the way in the back. Be like, DeMarco Murray.
God.
All right, guys.
I'm going to pick the 10 worst running backs I can think of.
There you go.
Anything else you guys want to cover?
To Don's question, no, I did not.
No.
I liked 90% of the movie other than Will Smith.
Will Smith wasn't even the worst part.
He was my least favorite part of the movie.
Well, it's tough to replace Robin Williams. That's also
it's not even that. Like, there's a lot of actors that you could have used with physical comedy and just like overall zaniness. Like Will Smith would not be like my top 10 choice.
Yeah.
I argue they should have got Jack Black. I think if they had Jack Black as Genie, oh my God, that would have been so much fun.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know what my issue is with Aladdin, and I think of this every time I see it.
Live action or
it's a Hitch sequel.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
literally do a scene from fucking. Excuse me, that's my one F word from Hitch. Okay, it's my one.
You're fine. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like I'm sorry, I'm not seeing Aladdin for a sequel to Hitch. Okay.
Although I did love the movie Hitch.
I looked at my buddy in the theater, who's like, because he's a big Will Smith guy, like too, and he's just like you see it, right? I'm like, yeah, I see it. I saw what they did.
That's funny.
Yeah, like the guy that played Aladdin, The guy that played Jafar, ugh.
Yeah, oh my god. I think that was the worst part of the movie.
He's kind of a tool in real life too.
Yeah.
Do you see him like trashing the Little Mermaid? I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, and then he didn't have the balls to stand by what he said, so he deleted his Twitter.
That's funny.
Wow. Okay.
You delete the whole Twitter. That's something.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, well, they did this, and that's why we were able to get to $1 billion. I don't think they're going to. And then like he couldn't stand the hate, so he just deleted his Twitter.
That's funny.
Have some balls.
Anything else, gentlemen? Good.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
Spider-Verse.
God, I can't
So many
wait.
good movies coming up.
Miles Morales live action they announced.
And actually, yeah, it's announced. Yeah, I saw that. They canceled the. I think I saw a notification. They officially canceled the Punisher series.
Yeah.
Really? When did that happen?
I think I saw a notification this morning.
They were
I
working
didn't
on
read
bringing
into
it
it.
back, and then it just kind of
Yeah,
it fell through.
which is that's a big blow. That's
What's
a
up,
big
Todd?
What's up, Todd?
Todd.
Oh,
All right, gentlemen. Good show. That was as fun as I expected. I think it's going to go well. It's going to go well for all the other positions too. So, guys, if you liked that conversation, like the talk, love being part of it, definitely tune in the next couple of weeks when we do wide receivers and we do running backs. Thank you to all of our show sponsors, including our main sponsor, Baggio's Bread. Make sure you hit them up. Mention A2D for 10% off your order. We got so many new shows, guys, to the station. Make sure you show them love. So many big names. We had vetted on this earlier today with Irving Fryer and Hollis Thomas. Huge show before, and that was before Marcus's show. And then we also had Les Bowen on today too. So, guys, amazing cast of people. We are growing like no other. So we appreciate the support. Check out all the shows that we have going on during the week. And but always come back to us every Thursday night. You know where it is, 9:30 to catch your boys at Birds of a Feather. Until then, from Chucks, me, Mr. OG Pete, from PY, and Jake, and the rest of us at A2D, we appreciate the support. We love you. We will see you next week. Until then, God bless. Stay safe. Peace out.
Later, guys.